Unreal Engine, or UE5, is one of the most powerful and widely used game engine in the industry. It was first released in 1998 by Epic Games and has since evolved into a complete real-time creation platform. And here's the thing. Calling it just a game engine feels wrong. It's more like an entire ecosystem, with each domain deep enough to eat up years of your life if you really dive into it. But it's still pretty accessible. If you're not trying to build the next open-world GTA with 500 systems running at once, a small team or even a solo dev can actually put together a solid game in a few months. One of the core strengths of Unreal Engine is its ability to produce highly realistic graphics. It is widely used for AAA games. The lighting, the reflections, the cinematic feel. Sometimes you're not even sure if you're looking at a game or a movie. And pricing? Surprisingly chill. It's free to use, and Epic Games only takes a 5% cut after you start making serious money. So you can build your dream game first and worry about revenue later. You've probably already seen Unreal in action. Fortnite, PUBG, Tekken 7, Final Fantasy 7 Remake, all running on it. But here's where things get crazy. Unreal isn't just for games anymore. You can create full cinematic scenes using Sequencer, build insanely realistic digital humans with MetaHuman, and design entire virtual worlds that look like they belong in a blockbuster movie. One of the most important technologies in Unreal Engine 5 is Nanite, which allows extremely detailed environments with millions or billions of polygons to be rendered efficiently. Another key feature is Lumen, which provides real-time global illumination and realistic lighting. However, Unreal Engine can be demanding on hardware, and for beginners, the learning curve can feel like climbing a mountain with no minimap. Projects can also become very large and complex, which can be challenging for smaller teams. Unity is one of those engines you've definitely heard of, even if you're not into game development. It dropped back in 2005 and quickly became the go-to choice for indie devs and mobile games. Why? Because it just makes sense. It's simple, flexible, and runs on pretty much everything. Unlike Unreal Engine, Unity is more like, hey, let's actually help you finish a game. It focuses on being easy to learn and efficient, which is why a lot of beginners start here. But Unity isn't basic. It's a full-blown development environment. One of its biggest flexes is cross-platform support. You build your game once, and suddenly it can run on PC, mobile, consoles, even browsers with minimal modification to the code. It's like making one meal and somehow feeding every platform at the same time. Pricing is another reason people love it. There's a free version that's more than enough for most indie devs. Paid plans exist, sure, but you don't need to sell your kidney just to get started. Unity handles both 2D and 3D games, and even dives into AR, VR, and simulations. Games like Among Us, Hollow Knight, Cuphead, and Genshin Impact were all made using Unity. So yeah, it's not just for small projects, it scales. With that said, it's not perfect. If you're chasing ultra-realistic graphics, Unreal still has the upper hand, and as your project grows, things can get messy if you're not careful. Optimization can turn into its own minigame. They also tried to implement a runtime fee back in 2023, but it quickly backfired, and Unity had to revise its pricing policy. But overall, Unity is like that reliable friend. Maybe not the flashiest in the room, but when it comes to actually getting things done, it delivers. Godot is like that hidden gem everyone suddenly started talking about. Launched in 2007, it's completely open source and best of all, no fees, no royalties, nothing. You just download 35 megabyte software and start building, but free doesn't mean it's useless. It got everything for a game engine. But unlike bigger names, it is designed to stay simple and flexible so you don't feel lost while starting out. One of its biggest strengths is how lightweight it is. It runs smoothly even on low-end systems. Perfect if you're a solo dev or working on a smaller game. Where Godot really shines is 2D. Its 2D engine isn't just an afterthought. It's built from the ground up. You can also use it for basic 3D projects, but you have better options for that. Godot supports C# and Python. But for best results, it has its own purpose-built language called GDScript. And since it's open source, if something annoys you, you can literally go in and fix it yourself. Of course, it's not perfect. Smaller community, fewer ready-made assets, so sometimes you'll have to do a bit more work on your own. But overall, Godot is a no-drama, no-nonsense game engine. CryEngine, developed by Crytek and first released in 2002, It became legendary with Crysis, a game so ahead of its time that running it smoothly basically became a benchmark for years. If your PC could run Crysis, you had bragging rights. On paper, CryEngine does everything other engines do. But once you install it, you'll understand why curiosity and bad decisions go hand in hand. Because CryEngine is not beginner-friendly at all. The learning curve is steep, the workflow isn't as smooth, the community is smaller, tutorials are limited, and there's less third-party support. So if you get stuck, it's more like figure it out yourself rather than just search it on YouTube. Royalty is too expensive too. Applying 5% on just $5,000 of revenue, although it really flexes in environmental realism. Forests, water, lighting, everything looks insanely detailed. Its terrain and vegetation systems can make open worlds feel almost too real, like you should be worried about mosquitoes in-game. The lighting and large-scale environments are especially impressive. Scenes don't just look good, they feel alive. Despite its insane visuals, it never really went mainstream. Most developers looked at it and said, "Yeah, this looks amazing, Iska, but I'd also like to actually finish my game." RPG Maker has been around since 1992, which makes it one of the oldest tools in game development, and somehow, it's still going strong. While engines like Unity and Unreal are out here trying to do everything, RPG Maker is like, we're making RPGs, and that's it. And honestly, it does that job really well. It's almost like building a game with Lego. You can literally create a full RPG, characters, story, quests, without writing heavy code. Just drag, drop, connect things, and you're good to go. It also handles basic animations, character customization, and cutscenes, which makes it perfect for story-driven games. That's why titles like To the Moon, One Shot, and Nikki came out of it. But yeah, there's a trade-off. Because it's so focused, it's also very limited. And if you don't customize things enough, RPG Maker games can start to feel a bit familiar. Like, I've seen this village before kind of familiar. Still, for beginners or anyone who just wants to tell a story without getting buried in technical complexity, RPG Maker is probably one of the easiest ways to go from idea to actual game. Game Maker Studio focused on 2D games. The engine came out in 1999. And it's surprising how quickly can you go from nothing to a working game. You can literally place objects, assign behaviors, and have something playable within minutes. You can drag and drop logic like you're building with blocks, or switch to its scripting language, GML, when you want more control, so it kind of grows with you. Just like Godot, its core strength is 2D. Platformers, pixel art games, top-down shooters. This is its comfort zone. Games like Undertale, Hotline Miami, and Katana Zero came out of it, which says a lot. But there's a limit. The moment you try to go beyond 2D or build something massive, Game Maker starts to feel like, okay, that's enough. It's not trying to compete with Unreal or Unity in scale or flexibility. So the best way to think about it is this. Game Maker is all about speed over power. We've only scratched the surface of these well-known game engines. I know there are many more out there, some less popular, some owned by specific studios, but if I tried to cram all of them into one video, I'd only be able to mention their names, let alone explain their features. So subscribe, and let me know which engines you'd like to see in a future video.